Welcome back, viewers, to round number 4 of the Elite Karting Series here from Daytona Tamworth, and you join us now in this video for race number 2. So I'm going to hand over now to our commentator, Tom Dillon.
Race 2 grid position set by the fastest lap in race 1, and as expected, this green track is starting to rubber up after a little bit of rain in the morning. Olly Smith then sets the fastest lap of the day with a 56.7 to go on to pole position. Andrew McWilliam alongside him in second. Andrew not too happy with how that race 1 went, looking to pick it up in race 2. Matthew Bolton, his lap time in race 1, absolutely fantastic to go into third. He's the heavyweight leader, of course. Jamie Sherman-Chase and Dana Rohan round out your top 5. Joe Greenhall and Callum Bengelo are 6th and 7th, with Carlos Almanis just behind them in 8th. JJ Hind in 9th. Oscar Lee rounds out the top 10 with Luke Dodman starting just behind him. Louis Draper starts in 12th, with Henry Barrington in 13th. Terry Battersby and Hassan Ali are 14th and 15th. Hassan, by the way, markable improvement on his qualifying time, definitely getting used to this kart. Right, through turn 11 they go. Turn 1 is the start line, turn 3 is the finish line. And it's Olly Smith on pole position once again. Keep an eye as well on Matthew Bolton, who starts in third alongside Jamie Sherman-Chase on road 2. Here we go. The green flag flies at Tamworth again, and Matthew Bolton gets a great start and retains his third position. Jamie Sherman-Chase is all the way onto the curb for a moment. Dana Rohan is squeezed all the way 3 wide up into turn 3. And I think everyone has got through unscathed, and indeed they have. Matthew Bolton looking for second position immediately on Olly Smith, who hasn't had the best start at all. Andrew McWilliam goes into the lead of the race. So Olly Smith struggling in the early stages of this 10-minute race 2. There's 9 minutes on the clock on the gantry to our left-hand side, and it's 2 wide action further behind in the field. As I can see as well, Callum Bengelo continuing his battle with Joe, our photographer. Thinks about a move down the inside, but Joe is able to hold on to that position at the moment. He sits in 5th as down the inside goes Jamie Sherman-Chase. This is for third position. And it's third position that Jamie Sherman-Chase gets. Olly Smith will try and come back at him around the outside into turn 12, but not quite able to do so just yet. Getting it almost all wrong is Hassan down into turn 12. He's okay though, and is able to continue on in this train. So as they cross the line, we'll have confirmation of the order for the first time in this race, and it is Andrew McWilliam who leads. And look at the gap he has pulled out from our heavyweight driver Matthew Bolton in second. The 1-1-10 kart is in third. That is Jamie Sherman-Chase, but in fact Jamie's been overtaken by Olly Smith, so he has got a little bit of catching up to do at this stage in the race as they make their way through into turn 7. Matthew Bolton has a lot of catching up himself to do on Andrew McWilliam. Potentially Jamie Sherman-Chase thinks about a move there, but in fact it's Joe who has the best shot at it. Thinks it gets to the end. JJ Hind goes up the inside of Callum Bengelo, and JJ Hind gets to that position. He's got some work to do after a very difficult race 1 for JJ. Thinks about a dive into turn 12 on Joe, but he's not quite able to find it. Luke Dodman is having a little bit of a scrap with Oscar Lee as well, who's in the 1-1 kart. Oscar Lee under pressure from Henry Barrington. Dana is through on Carlis, and up as we wait for the timing screens to update into what appears for Dana to be, I think, 12th position. I'll just wait for our timing screens here in the box to update. But it is still, of course, Andrew McWilliam who leads. He felt he perhaps should have led in that first race. I think it was a little bit frustrating with how that went for him, and this race clearly going markedly better. Olly Smith stays in third at the moment, and it is Jamie Sherman-Chase still trying to pressurise him, but Jamie needs to be careful here because Joe Greenall is right on his tail. Olly Smith finding himself under pressure from Jamie Sherman-Chase. JJ Hind finding himself under pressure from Joe Greenall, who he has only just overtaken down into turn 10. So JJ makes his way into the top 5, back into the top 5. Dana is trying to catch up to the pack. I can see that as the field streams through into turn 3. And we have lost a driver as Jamie Sherman-Chase goes down the inside of Olly Smith. He gets himself up into third. That battle continues now. JJ Hind looks to the inside of Olly Smith, and JJ Hind into turn 5 gets the 4th place back. So he is on a recovery mission after doing a triple at Sandown Park. Is that Luke Dodman following him through. I think it is on Olly Smith. So Luke has found a little bit of pace as well under that kart inside of this race as Oscar Lee gets past Joe Greenall, who's lost a couple of spots here. So fantastic stuff from Luke Dodman at the moment. Oscar Lee looking to pressurise Olly Smith as well as they go down into turn 10. JJ Hind rather could genuinely win this race, you know, as he's pressurising at the moment Jamie Sherman Chase for third position as they go up into turn 3. Joe has lost another spot, this time to Callum Bendelo. So top 5, Andrew McWilliam, Matthew Bolton, Jamie Sherman Chase, JJ Hind and Luke Dodman. But Luke finding himself under pressure now, I think. No, in fact, Olly Smith is finding himself under pressure from Oscar Lee, who gets through. So Oscar Lee on a decent drive himself. And it's our 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th place drivers at the moment. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th actually place drivers who are battling. Callum Bendelo gets back up the inside of Olly Smith, who's losing even more positions now. Joe Greenall might fancy his chances, looks to the outside. Not able to find it there. Maybe has to look to the outside again as they go into turn 10 as Olly Smith goes down the inside of Callum Bendelo, is forced onto the curb. That gives Joe Greenall a look around the outside and through goes Joe Greenall. Henry Barrington looks to follow him through into turn 12 and it is going all wrong for Olly Smith at the moment. After dominating race 1, not quite able to get the pace under the kart for race 2. And thankfully he should still have a decent place in race 3. But at the moment, it is your race leader, Andrew McWilliam, who is pulling away from the pack. He's gained, I think, 8 seconds, which is miraculous, actually. JJ Hind is looking for a position on Luke Dodman. In fact, Luke Dodman's looking for a position on JJ Hind. Luke goes down the inside, forces JJ well out wide and gets himself into 5th position. So that is a great move, into 4th position, I should say. That's a great move. And JJ, again, after having such a good first little stint to this race, it's got a very difficult 4 minutes to try and catch up. It will be exactly 4 minutes actually, looking at my timing monitor. And so as Andrew streams across the line, we've got to wait about 8 seconds for the rest of the field to catch up. Luke Dodman now is looking for a podium position. He's got Jamie Sherman Chase in his sights and he's very, very fast down that straight. Through turn 3 they go. Can he get himself up the inside? Jamie Sherman Chase knows to defend around this track. In fact, he doesn't. Luke Dodman sneaks one up the inside and gets himself into a podium position for the first time in the Elite Karting Series on debut. And a decent drive in race 1 and in race 2 is on a fantastic drive as well. So Luke is up into 3rd and now having a look at Matthew Bolton. Remember, the points scored for Matthew are going to go to the Heavyweight Championship, so whilst he'll care about his 2nd position at the moment, it will all be about his points for the Heavyweight Championship. And obviously, he is going to win that, being the only heavyweight driver in this race at the moment. JJ Hind is now pressurising Jamie Sherman Chase as they go through turn 12. JJ having a real opportunity now that the other karts have got through on Jamie. Closed ballast box is 111. That is the call. 111 is Oscar Lee. So he's got to close that ballast, make sure it doesn't fly off and onto the racetrack. That would be very dangerous indeed. Olly Smith is finding himself under pressure. I believe the kart that is getting past him here. Not a lot of straight line speed for Olly Smith. I believe that is Carlos Almanis. So a good move from him. And he gets himself up another spot. And a pretty difficult race 2 continues for Olly Smith. We've just got about 2 minutes left in this race, I think, as Andrew McWilliam makes his way through turn 11 and into turn 12. Really working for him. He did win last time out in Tamworth, at least one of the 3 races that we had. That was our first round of the season, and it looks like he's on his way to win race 2 once again. JJ Hind still pressurises Jamie Sherman Chase, who himself is pressurising Luke Dodman. And Luke Dodman trying to find himself into 2nd position, looks to the inside into turn 3. Matthew holds it for the moment. Is Luke going to be able to throw one up the inside again? Matthew Bolton is going to show him the outside, but Luke still finds a way down the inside and goes up into 2nd position. This is great stuff from Luke Dodman. JJ Hind is looking to the outside of Jamie Sherman Chase. Maybe thinks about a switch back here as they go up into turn 6. And JJ sneaks one through and gets himself up into 4th position. The podium now beckons for JJ Hind, who's got Matthew Bolton in his sights. It's Andrew McWilliam from Luke Dodman from Matthew Bolton now. But JJ will certainly want to get this done because he knows that Oscar Lee is there. It's a good defence from Matthew Bolton. Oscar Lee's behind. He's going to try and start to pressure Jamie Sherman Chase, but JJ has got a lot of pace in that kart at the moment, and Matthew Bolton perhaps is struggling a little bit still. The 111 kart's got to close his ballast box, and that's exactly what he does. JJ now to the inside. Through the choke point of 2 they go, and up into turn 3, 60-mile-an-hour corner almost. And JJ obviously doesn't want to make that move stick just yet, as, well, Matthew holds on for the time being. We should have last lap boards next time by. I think they should sneak at least one more in, depending on when they do cross the line. Andrew McWilliam, of course, is a little bit of a ways ahead of everyone else, and in fact is catching up to Hassan Ali, who is going through turn 12 now. So it should be last lap board next time by, I think, for Andrew McWilliam. We'll have to wait and see as he goes through turn 1. Matthew Bolton under pressure from JJ Hind. I can see that into turn 10. Matthew Bolton under pressure, and JJ Hind sends one up into turn 12 but almost loses the kart. The D-Max brakes ever so sensitive, and JJ almost loses it down into turn 12. You don't want to do that. I do believe Andrew McWilliam is about to get the last lap board as he overtakes, laps I should say, Hassan Ali. Oh, off of the racetrack! Off of the racetrack goes JJ Hind, I think, or is it Matthew Bolton? I think it might be Matthew Bolton who goes off of the racetrack at turn 3. We'll wait to confirm. As I can see JJ Hind, I can see Luke Dodman, I can see Jamie Sherman Chase under pressure from Oscar Lee. Oscar goes down the inside, and it is, I think, JJ Hind. We'll wait and see, or was it Matthew Bolton? No, it's definitely Matthew Bolton, because JJ Hind has re-emerged, so Matthew Bolton will still get his heavyweight win, but that is disappointing. He goes off of the racetrack. Andrew McWilliam takes the checker flag. He wins again in EKS, and JJ Hind will find himself into a podium position for the time being when he's under pressure from Oscar Lee, whose ballast box is still open as they go down the straights, adding a little bit of drag to the kart. JJ should hold on to this. Luke Dodman, a fantastic second position from him, and JJ Hind crosses the line into third. So it was Matthew Bolton who got it all wrong into turn 4. I believe he almost had a very nasty crash there down the straight. So I'll have to go through this quickly before it disappears off my timing screen. But your race results at the moment, assuming we don't have any timing glitches, Andrew McWilliam wins the race from Luke Dodman. 16 seconds the gap for Andrew. That is imperious pace. He was lapping in the 56s compared to the 57s for the rest of the field. Luke Dodman is in second, with JJ Hind rounding out the podium. Oscar Lee finishes in a very good 4th position ahead of Jamie Sherman Chase, who rounds out the top 5. Joe Greenall recovers to 6th, with Callum Bendelow in 7th. Matthew Bolton finishes in 8th, with Henry Barrington and the 104 kart rounding out the top 10. It is then Olly Smith in 11th, despite starting on pole. Dana Rohan in 12th, Louis Draper in 13th, and finally Hassan Ali down in 14th.